Welcome to the Sonicast.
DC is chilling.
Your player partner, G-Biz.
We got Amanda Seals in the building right now.
How y'all doing?
She got some big shows popping off in the city this weekend over at Cobb's.
Yes, we have 2 shows tonight, 2 tomorrow, 8 and 10:30 tonight, and 7:30 and 10 tomorrow. So it's a good time. We had a blast last night. I also wait, can I curse?
You can do whatever you want
I
to.
also put niggas on blast last night, so it was a good time.
You put
them on blast for
like
what?
Because when I arrived last night, I was informed that somebody who I'd already acknowledged as a fuck nigga was an even more fuck niggery person. And I had no idea that they could even ascend to higher heights. So on one hand, I'm just like, okay, like, overachiever, excellence, but misplaced. So literally I found out that like I had been lied to on a whole other level than I knew to that point that I had been lied to.
This is somebody who you were dealing with?
Yes. And so because the universe be bringing me information because it wants me to always move in a sense of clarity, the information arrived at my doorstep yesterday,
Really?
right before I went on the stage. And everybody knows that I take it to the stage.
So it wasn't even like you didn't even have to search for it. It wasn't like...
I never have to search for it. That's what's wild. When I say I be knowing, like, it's not just like, oh, like I know information from like things I've read. It's because like something about the existential space of this realm that we're in should be arriving to me. Like I draw information to me. It's a law of attraction. I don't know what it is.
That's
and
your
then
ancestors.
I filter it through. That's what I really believe.
That's your ancestors
I really
bringing it to
believe
you.
it's my spirit guides saying like your purpose here is to take this information in and put it out to help others. And so that's what I do on stage.
So let's not talk about this fuck nigga then.
No.
That's what.
Well, I mean, it's on my Instagram. So
so at
if
that
you want
point...
to know who it is, you can just go on there right now. My Instagram is at Amanda Seals, spelled AMANDASEALES. He's also from the Bay, so it's,
Really?
Oh. Now you gotta tell us. So what team he play
I'm not
for?
gonna take my time.
Really?
You can go on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. All right.
He don't even deserve all that. It would be actually good for him because then he could get some more money. But
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Well, on that note,
Okay.
here's something that I was super interested in talking to you about because, like, even from the transition is crazy.
you gotta
Because now-
act right, y'all.
Right.
Act right.
It's
All
hard.
of us, listen, we
It's
don't
hard.
nail it every time. We don't nail it every time. I have absolutely done shit in my life where, like, I was being selfish or I may have not been, like, as thoughtful about it.
We all have those
we
times.
all have those times. Do your best to correct. Do your best to correct. Because karma is an actual real thing. Think about it. The world is round. Even if you think the world is flat, it's still round. The world is round. Everything goes around, comes around. The seasons change, they come back around. Everything is cyclical. So you think your energy ain't cyclical? Do you put that shit out? It's coming back. It is. So, like, be careful. And dudes out here be wilding and treating women like unbelievable pieces of shit and thinking it's not gonna come for them. You wondering why you broke? You wondering why you can't get shit popping? Maybe it's because you've been shitting on people for so long and it's finally coming back around. And you 45 looking around like, why does my life look like shit? Because you ain't shit. That's why. All of us have the power within us to change and affect our destinies. And we can really do so much in ourselves when we blame everybody else. And it's like, nah, stop that. Especially you fuckboys. Now, what was the question?
So this Kavanaugh hearing that was going down yesterday, you tend to have a lot to say on social media, and you just kind of mentioned that a little bit, just about your own personal, experiences and different things like that. But we talked about a cat this morning that works at Fox that got fired because his situation was he's watching the Senate hearing yesterday, and then he's like, well, all leftists are lying skanks anyway, so that's just how. Yeah, he got fired from Fox News for kind of putting that
They
out.
fired somebody?
Yeah.
Well, it was a brother. Yeah, it was a brother.
Well, okay, sorry. That's
He
an
did.
important caveat.
I mean, when I
you can't call white women skanks.
when I first saw the story, I was like, what the hell? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh, he was that type of Jackson, not Andrew, but he was on the other side.
Yeah, no, he was one of the Michaels.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he one of Joe's children.
Right.
Twice removed. So yeah, I mean, but he came out and said all these women were lying and completely called them skanks. So I mean, tweeted it out. So they had to, sever that.
I mean, that's a sign of just somebody forgetting who they are and where they are. You thought you was down.
Comfortable.
You was in the house talking about, we sick, massa.
Uncle Ruckerson.
Exactly.
Right. Don't trust him.
Never do that.
What's your limit on like do you ever record something before you put it on socials and be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't?
Of course. Of course. Listen, of course. There are many times where I'm like, Seals, you could just not say something about that.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wish more of us did that, because now we're in this
filter.
Well, also just like keep some shit to yourself. Like, for as much as I speak, people are like, damn, you keep things to yourself. And it's like, you're seeing 15-second clips in a 24-hour day.
Right.
Yeah.
My brain is moving very rapidly. You're only getting snippets. But it's like, I think that we in this like age where everybody want to have something to say about everything, but they haven't necessarily done like any research on it, or they haven't like even had any discourse on it. Like, a lot of times I've talked about something with someone I trust or in the space I trust and formulate my thoughts, on something like this Kavanaugh thing and everything. I will tell you first and foremost, like, I am not as well versed on all the ins and outs of it as some other people would be.
Yeah.
Like Angela Rye is going to be able to give you the 1-2, the whole setup, Tamika D. Mallory, Linda Sarsour. Amanda is going to be able to take the bullet points and get to like, okay, here's the meat and bones of it, and then I'll give you some jokes. But this is not, I wouldn't speak on it in a very grandiose way simply because I know that I haven't done the research. But that don't stop enough people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight up.
Many people will just read something or watch something one time. That's what's annoying about music now, too. It's like we don't get a chance to really digest albums, like.
I was about to go there with you, too. But
the minute it come out, people be immediately like, and I will do what I call like my 24-hour review.
Yeah.
And it's just the fact that like I've only listened to it one time. I'm contextualizing in the fact that I've only heard it one time.
Today is Friday, September 28th, and less than 12 hours ago, the Carter 5 dropped. Did you listen to any of it?
Yeah, you ain't heard it yet?
No, because I was on the goddamn stage.
Yeah.
What?
Wayne dropped.
So I saw the meme, and it said Weezy season, and I was like, is Tunchi back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it?
Wheezy F Baby, and the F is for finally the album is dropped.
Yeah, I like some of the records
Your
on it. I haven't made it all the way through, though.
Okay.
I haven't made it all the way through.
Is there any money on my mind type? See, okay, wait, side note. Remember I told you I be knowing?
Oh, you did say you be knowing. What did you know?
Last week, I was in the whip, and I was like, it's about time for Weezy to come back. I swear for Lord, as we're talking about this, I just remembered, and I said, Siri, please play Money on My Mind. And she was like, got it. And then.
So are you telling us you manifested the Carter 5?
I'm just saying I be knowing. I had no idea. And now you here telling me that the shit came out.
The intuition just hit you.
I'm telling you, it freaks me out. You're watching me get freaked out right now because I haven't listened to Weezy in, I couldn't even tell you the last time. Unless it was
years.
something that came up randomly in my iTunes, or I listen to 400 Degrees like at least once every season, and he's on there. But like that, I want to listen.
Yeah, he brought back some.
He brought back some
good
classic
vibes.
beats.
Yes.
And
Is there any Manny Fresh on there?
yes.
Oh, well then we're good.
Yeah.
Yes. He also has some interesting features. Nivea's on the album.
That's not an interesting feature.
That is an interesting feature. Where's Nivea been?
BM.
That's his BM.
But where has she been though?
Raising his child.
Facts. But I'm saying like
Musically.
I didn't see that coming.
Well, if you have it, you always have it. You just may not be, indulging in it. This music business is pure trash. So it's like, I don't blame anybody who's like, you know what, let me step away. I put out 4 albums independently, but
right.
At some point I will come back. But people are like, when are you going to come back? I'm like, when I can come back and and the business of it is not going to make me hate the music of it.
So what's been your favorite thing? Because I've always appreciated the fact that you were so diverse, like in talent in general, whether or not it was poetry or music or acting.
You be
or
knowing. Look at
DJ.
you.
Listen, I've been around for a while. I watched My Brother and Me for the year that it was on.
Why you gonna hate on my guy Ralphie and Didi?
What are you talking about?
Goo punch, everybody. Goo punch.
What are you looking at me like that for? What did
You know
I
what
do?
I'm saying? And speaking of TV, let's not act like you ain't on one of the hottest shows right now. I want to know where my man Nathan went.
I'm not gonna tell you.
She's not gonna give me that. Okay. If you didn't get the Insecure reference, you know.
You asked me what was my favorite.
I called Saronis too. I tried to ask him, he wouldn't tell me.
Did you? And nobody
did.
let you know.
He wouldn't tell me.
He don't
kid.
even know.
She like,
Well, there goes that.
he's out the loop already. She gave him the cut. She like, you ain't even gonna see his ass no more after the 4th episode. He gone. Look, that was the. She gave him the chop. Like, he gone.
Glad that was on tape.
Right, right. At least we know that.
No, yeah, no. What's been your favorite thing? Like of everything, comedy, poetry, MCing, acting.
Comedy has always been my favorite. Like, because even before I was like doing stand up, it was always astonishing to me that I could make people laugh. Because it's one thing to rhyme and to sing. I mean, I love singing. Don't get me wrong, but it's one thing to do those types of things. But they're very like self-centered almost. Like they're like, whether people applaud or not, like you still got it off, you know, like whether you like it or not, like I still kick them bars, B, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but stand up is so intrinsically like an exchange between you and the audience. And there's something to me that it's almost like a superpower to be able to invoke joy from people. I mean, that is a superpower. And to do that through wit, and through like your observations, you in the same world as them, but you're able to present the world to them in a way that they hadn't seen it before. Like to me, being able to do that is something that I really cherish. And to be able to now do that as a stand-up, I've only been doing stand-up, it'll be 5 years in November. And I feel very lucky that I got so late to the game because I'm still so like, I'm still hype. Like, I'm still like, I get to be a stand-up. Yeah. Like this, I'm not jaded.
You're not over it.
Nah, like it's literally an honor to me to be considered a stand-up comedian and to be able to be considered a good stand-up comedian and have people like come to my shows and be like, oh my God, like that was so funny. And I love that stand-up, there's only one compliment. One. You're funny. It's so
right.
It's real clear. It's real clear. In music, they
Either
be like,
you got that or you don't.
Energy, you know. In music, they'll be like, tonally, I really felt like the energy was existentially and fiscally like what? Stand up is just like, you're funny.
The thing about music that I've always kind of hated is when people go, man, my partner the rawest out here, and you be like, because there's always somebody who's going to like it. You know what I mean? There's always somebody who's got, man, even if it's just like a tone and somebody just saying like random things that aren't on beat, somebody's going to like it, right? But with stand up, like you have an instant response, whether it's like this was good or this wasn't good at all.
But the other thing is the dope. I mean, I think that there's still somebody's gonna like it in stand up. I mean, you have to know your audience.
Exactly.
Like I'm at a point now where I've been really blessed to like have established an audience. Like I know who my audience is, and I'm at a point where I'm not really pressed about performing for other people outside of my audience.
Yeah.
Like if you come, you come. But I don't find myself being like, oh, I want to go see if the country music audience is gonna fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if y'all want to come through, you know, like, we could sing The Devil Went Down to Georgia, maybe, but, like, I'm not really going out looking for that. And I think that so many comics, like, we have no choice, right? Because, like, you have to find your audience, and it takes a long time. So I feel very fortunate that I've been able to develop an audience that is very supportive and very action-based and very responsive, and they buy tickets and they leave comments and they tell a friend, you know, they come to shows more than once. You know, they come to one show and be like, I'm coming back, because even if they hear the same joke, it's still gonna have a different energy. Or, you know, when I was an MC, it used to be my dream to have people know my lyrics. Like that's every MC's dream is like somebody gonna be quoting me like Rakim or whatever. So it is still astonishing to me, and like, I mean, it's surreal to me when like people know my jokes like they know lyrics.
That's dope. Now I know you talked about your audience. Does your audience appreciate everything that you bring to the stage? Like your take on current topics? I mean, have you got on stage and talked about Cosby yet? You know?
I'm not taking my stage to talk about Cosby, but I mean, I think it's I think what they appreciate is my authenticity and my approach. So even if they don't agree with me, they appreciate the way I approach it, and they appreciate that, like, you gonna get it from the hip. I mean, that's what it is. It's never. I'm never gonna give it to you. I'm never gonna give it to you with an ulterior. And I think that's really, like, it's funny because when you would ask before about, like, do you ever, like, think before you say things, and it's like, there's so many times where people get mad when I don't say something.
Right.
You know, like when I don't say something.
Oh, absolutely. That happens to us.
I mean, they're just like, why aren't you talking about this?
Yeah.
And it's like, not everything needs my point of view. If I don't feel like my point of view is going to push the conversation forward, I'm absolutely not talking. Because I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
So if I just because I don't like something doesn't mean I need to tell y'all I don't like it.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like that sometimes it's just like, so you just hating. I'm also a part of this world. So it's also like, I'm not gonna be like shitting on my peers like that just because I may not have liked a movie they're in or something.
Yeah.
Like that's tasteless. It's tacky.
How did you feel about what Katt Williams said about Tiffany Haddish and that whole little feud that got going?
Well, it was inaccurate. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna throw shade, it got to be the truth, or else it's just shade.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the whole thing. It ain't shade if it's the truth. She was never married to a white man. She has a special, and she was getting up at the Laugh Factory like every night.
Yeah.
So whether you think she's funny or not, that's a conversation. But that's not what he was saying. He was saying that she hasn't been a proven joke teller, like, and she's never told jokes. It's like, but she has. He was saying that she has sold out, you know, and been with white men in order to get on. It's like she hasn't. So it's just like, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, Katt is one of the illest of all time. Like, we all know about Po Lil Tink Tink. Like, I mean, that's just
Pimp Chronicles?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the facts. It's just the facts. I'm just a rooted in facts person, and so I think people are also like just don't want to hear the facts. They want to hear what makes it make sense to them, and that a lot of times has very little to do with the truth.
It's like the most outrageous comment, the most controversial comment is the thing that gets the most steam.
And that's scary, right? Because like that's what's happening on these internets. It's like people just say whatever, and
I mean, shit, that's happening in the White House. Let's
Touche.
not act like this motherfucker ain't just stand up in front of a room full of UN leaders and say, yeah, I've done more for America in my presidency than any other president before us. Like, I mean,
that is actually true. He has done more fuck shit for America than any other presidency before us. So, I mean,
Nice.
alternative facts.
right.
Sonicast right now. Amanda Seals in the building. So G-Biz is a comedian, and I fortunately have never gone to a G-Biz show. To watch any jokes.
I'm not gonna take the title of comedian. I just started my stand-up journey.
But you're a
You
comedian.
to tell jokes yet?
No.
If you
Then
put
you
a
are
brick
not-
on top
No,
of a
right.
brick,
You
you're
are
a
somebody who
builder.
does- No.
No, I do
What?
stand-up. I do stand-up.
He does
I
stand
am
up.
not
Until you
labeled
are
a
being
comedian.
paid for the profession.
Right.
You've never got a check?
No.
Oh,
not
that's
for
why I
comedy.
haven't gone.
Not for comedy. No.
But I appreciate you because it's a craft.
It is. It's such an art form. Like, you know, when you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, man. A lot of motherfuckers will be like, I can stand up and make motherfuckers laugh. Until you stand there and it's just a room of silence. You like, the shit was funny to me, goddamn.
Shit was funny to me. When I said it in the car, it was funny. When I said it to my mama,
Right.
it was funny.
It had my spirit giggling, but I guess y'all.
That's like homie in the hood that think his shit slap. But
Right.
you know,
Hey,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
that should go. That's like,
That's when you always
don't really
that's
go,
when- that's
bro.
when you always go to that. Well, I mean,
been in
women
that
be
situation with
shopping.
someone
boy.
What's your advice to somebody who's starting off doing stand up then?
I think my biggest advice would be the goal is to get to a place where you're not proving to them you're funny. You're just being funny.
Yeah.
Because that's so much what happens. We get on stage, we tell a joke, it didn't land, and now we're like, because okay, let me do it again. Like, okay, and then we try and explain it, the shit, and then it becomes where you are now on the defense, and you're having to like try and prove, like, I'm funny, y'all, for real. I'm funny, and you start sounding crazy.
I mean, that's when you just start drowning. You know,
That's
what I
when you
mean?
start drowning.
And you start searching for that light. Like
When I opened for
4 minutes.
Chris-
4 minutes.
When I opened for Chris, he was like, "You're unflappable," and I was like, "I don't know what that means in this context." And he was like, "Well." He was like, you know, if a joke doesn't like land the way you want it to, like you don't get shaken up. You just keep on moving to the next
rolling.
joke.
Yeah.
And he was like, so what happens is by the time that you get to that makes them feel like they have to adjust to you versus you adjusting to them. And I didn't realize until he verbalized it that is exactly like where I've landed now, where it's like, I'm not going to try and convince y'all that I'm funny. Like if you didn't get that, we going to keep it moving. And it trains the audience sometimes to be on some like, okay, let me adjust.
Yeah.
Cause she ain't adjusting for us. So let me adjust. And then they start to get your tone. They start to ride with you.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're doing music, you have a beat behind you that's going to give that to the audience already.
Automatically.
So
yeah.
you don't, have to do that much work.
Right.
Even if they don't know the lyrics, they still going to bob their head if the beat not. In comedy, you got to get that on rhythm yourself. And when you start tripping up and trying to explain yourself, you fuck up your rhythm.
That's what I noticed. What's bruh's name? He's a comedian. He does. He's on Blackish. He plays like Dre's work homie.
Oh, Deion Cole.
Oh, yeah, Deion Cole.
When I saw Deion Cole on Def Comedy, I think last year or something like that, like he had these jokes on a card, and he was just reading the jokes off a card, and he would just look. And then throw the
Like,
card
all right,
and then go on to the next one.
trying it out.
But what was hilarious about it was because he was like, I just wrote these 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, cool, I'm moving on to the next thing. And that became funny.
Right, exactly. He got a rhythm going.
Yeah.
But see, a lot of that comes from your time in it and just being comfortable, and confident on stage. I saw TK Kirkland last week out at Tommy T's for the first time. And like, I was like, when you watch him versus other comedians that I've seen, it's like, damn, like you can see the time that he's been doing this just in his performance. The way he controlled the crowd, it just seemed effortless. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you've been doing this shit for a long motherfucking time. To where half the time during his set, he just stopped telling jokes and just started talking.
Of course, yeah.
You know?
I mean, and then you play with silence.
Yeah, exactly.
Being willing to stand on stage in silence.
That's hard.
And just...
Because a lot of motherfuckers is like, all right,
sometimes
so,
you gotta let that shit breathe.
Yeah.
And then they'll just start laughing out of nervousness sometimes. Like, I mean, I feel like for me, stand-up has become so much about just the performance of it as well, and not just the words coming out of your mouth. And I was talking to Marcus in the back about just how, like, once I realized that I needed to add physicality to the mix, it really changed everything. And I hadn't really considered it in like I hadn't considered adding physicality to my jokes in a conscious way.
Yeah.
Like, some jokes just kind of naturally had that, but like once I consciously thought about it, it's like that's a whole other layer of funny.
Yep.
That you're bringing. You're not. This is not an auditory medium, so you might as well use these other things. And I have like a lot of character in my face and stuff. So sometimes I'll tell a joke and I'll literally just like raise my eyebrows, and that alone is a tag.
Yeah.
Just that. But it wasn't until I got comfortable with the silence.
Yeah.
Of being willing to just make a face and let that permeate the crowd. You're in certain rooms, you got to turn that face around so that everybody you have to have a conscience about that, so that everyone can see the face. And it's really, there's such an art to stand up beyond just telling a joke. Beyond just writing a joke. It's how you tell it, who you telling it to, the pace, where you put it in the set. Because there's jokes where, like, if I tell at the top of a set, it's not gonna get the same laugh. I gotta get them comfortable and then bring them into this police brutality joke about big black dicks. And
whoa, all right,
okay,
I gotta ease them into that.
Got it.
Gotta ease that one in. Gotta lube it up. Got it.
Gotta ease in the D.
Wow.
Damn. All right, we even got a Kobe drop. Okay. So Insecure, how's this show going? Little lane.
Well,
change
finale's this Sunday, right? Season finale this
Season
Sunday?
finale is a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it working on the set with all those different personalities?
I mean, it's like anything. I mean, you have to balance the fact that like we got to get this job done.
Mm-hmm.
We're all doing our own thing as well, and I think the reality is that we're all funny.
Mm-hmm.
So jokes happen, and as long as the jokes are happening, everything is all good.
Yeah. I mean, I think the growth of the show has been fantastic just over the last couple of seasons. You know what I mean? I'm loving the storyline. I think so many people have been drawn into it. You know what I mean? And just even just down to the love romance back and forth between Issa and Lawrence. You know, I know Sana loves that. And was so thrown off by the whole, well, you ain't gonna see Lawrence this season. And so many ladies that I knew that was just heartbroken around it. Like, how do you all, you know,
I'm not the writer, so I don't know.
I'll say this. I'll say this just because you're on the show and you're in the room. I wasn't really that pressed about Lawrence being gone. I, as the vice president of Chad Hive, was upset that Chad wasn't going to be there because Lawrence wasn't going to be there. So when Chad came back, that was my excitement for the season. That's all I needed.
Neil is very happy to hear that.
Wow.
That's all I needed. All right.
Hilarious.
Amanda Seals in the building right here. We've been doing the Sonic Cast. And of course, go check her out this weekend. It's going to be at Cobb's out here in San Francisco. When are the shows?
The shows are this weekend, Friday, tonight. So tonight, 8 and 10:30, and then Saturday, 7:30 and 10. I was out here in Oakland earlier this year with my show Smart, Funny, and Black. And
That was in New Parish?
that was at yes. It was at New Parish.
Yeah.
You know all the venues like you.
I remember that happening and being like, oh, I missed it.
No, it was super dope, super fun, and that's when I found out that like they fuck with me in the Bay. So I was really happy to come back. So shout out to everybody who came out last night. We had a great time, and I know that people were like, "When are you bringing Smart, Funny, and Black back? When are you bringing this back?" And I did not get a chance to bring Smart, Funny, and Black back, but I am a Smart, Funny, and Black person, and I am back.
There you go.
So come on out.
All right, going down to Cobb's. Make sure you go check it out this weekend. Amanda Seals in the building. Thank you.
And follow me at Amanda Seals on Instagram.
Do that.
Was that Oakland show where you met your ex-boyfriend?
He was not my boyfriend, but he was an ex-fuck boy in my life.
We talking about the fuck nigga them that was going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay,
Y'all just going to keep bringing up old stuff, huh?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm waiting for her to drop a name, even a last name.
I was going through the gram. I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was the guy from Power, the lawyer from Power that was knocking down Tasha.
That is Brandon Victor Dixon. That is my heart and soul. That is my love. No. I'm talking
Look
about
at Max
Tasha
trying to be
Souls of
messy.
Mischief, who was a trash ass nigga.
Oh, there we
Well,
go.
Run that
dropped.
back.
Nope. It happened once. Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
You know Souls of Mischief?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I think we can wrap it up.